Yeah. Welcome back to an episode of Ministry of Truth. I am your number one host on this show. I hope y'all enjoyed the new intro. I spent a lot of time on that. Believe it or not, been dabbling in AI, and I guess it's been working. Well, at least for me, it's been working. Back from suspension again, because when I came back, for some reason I didn't leave, but I had to leave because YouTube was like, you know what? You cannot discuss the Havana syndrome. I mean, YouTube says Havana syndrome is something that is not happening in this country anymore. It did not happen in Atlanta because it didn't happen in Atlanta, and it also didn't happen in Arizona during a Trump rally. What else we got? Going over some news about predators, to include ones that prey on children, to include ones that are really famous and is buddies with another really famous person. We all know who I'm talking about. We're going to get to that. And then what else do we have? I'm not really sure because I put all this together and I don't know what happened because I didn't do the hashtags. But I'm not going to do hashtags anymore because if you're here to watch me, you're here because it's me. Or you're going to watch and be like, oh, is he gonna say something that's gonna expose people? No, I'm not that petty, even though I could and I should, but I won't. But with that, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, this is from Alabama, and I believe it was 10, count them 10. In case y'all can't count, 10 is all 10 of your fingers, unless you're an Arab and then you have like 8 fingers, 7 fingers. Just, do your thing. Oh, shit.
Good afternoon. I'm Sheriff Joshua McLaughlin, and I would like to start out by thanking each of you for coming in today to learn more about our recent child exploitation operation. I have with me my staff here to the left. I also have with me Athens Police Chief Anthony Presnell and his staff, and the district attorney may step in at some point during the interview.
Okay. Right.
I'm extremely
Well, they
proud
have
of this
8
group
fingers.
of law enforcement officers
What's up, dude?
you see here today. I'm also very thankful to their families for understanding this important work. I know it's difficult to have them gone for extended periods of time to do these operations, so I want to thank them and their family as well. Many of us put a lot of hours in and gone several days without seeing our families, so that says a lot about what this means to us. We remain committed to protecting our children of Limestone County.
All this time before I started recording.
So today the message is that we're not going to tolerate predators here, not in our community and not traveling to our community from anywhere else. We spoke back in February about this issue when we arrested several individuals for child sex crimes, and we've conducted a second operation to follow up from that one.
Dude, you're powering right into
And
the
at this time,
microphone.
I'm going to turn it over to Captain Durden, or Caleb Durden. He's
Get
going to
your
kind
ass
of
out of
go
my
through the
weirdo.
arrest
Get
and
out.
a little bit of the operation. When he finishes up, we'll be glad to take a few questions. So, go ahead, Captain.
Thank you all for being here. I just want to say thank you also to Sheriff and Chief Flanagan for supporting us and letting us do this important work. I also want to say thank you to our corrections officers. They did an awesome job. Our deputies that were helping with us, the APD officers, and all the investigators from both agencies. They did a great job working together and making this happen. So thank you to y'all. We talked back in February after that operation, seeing this firsthand, about the only way I can describe it. It's extremely shocking. It's just wicked and vile what these folks are doing. The press release we had put together says last week, Limestone County Sheriff's Office and Athens Police Department conducted a joint operation focused on identifying, investigating, and arresting predators seeking to commit illegal sex acts with children. We made 10 arrests in this operation. These offenders targeted and solicited those who they believed to be children, but were actual undercover law enforcement officers. These predators found our undercover officers in chat rooms,
Good.
social media, and other online portals. Parents, we implore you to please get involved in your child's digital life, those devices that they have, such as their phones, computers, and their gaming systems.
Gaming systems.
These people are looking for them there. So please monitor their devices. Don't let them be a victim by being exposed to this extreme evil at such a young age, please. These offenders that we have arrested here, they agreed to pay to engage in these sexual acts with children, and then they traveled to designated locations in Limestone County to commit these acts. Just a couple notes there. We did collect 4 firearms during this operation.
Are they legal
And
people?
I wanted to address the arrest of Mr. Douglas, Tavion Douglas.
Sounds American.
He was with Trenton Bolden, and he did not receive the same charges because of his involvement. He was only charged with the public intoxication, attempt to elude, and then the possession of marijuana, which are the crimes that he committed during our operation. So, just wanted to address that.
So he
Why
just
was
at wrong
arrested,
place,
and
wrong
his
time.
Charges are not the same as everyone else. Sheriff, we'll take a few questions on the operation. We won't speak to the
Yo, that's
specifics,
crazy.
but we'd be happy to entertain a few.
All right. It's up to y'all. Yes, ma'am.
What was it like working with each other to bust out these criminals?
It was great. I'm very proud of the working relationship that we have with Athens and the surrounding agencies. An operation like this takes a ton of manpower, and without us working together, there's no way it would be as successful as it was. So,
Can I say something about that?
absolutely.
I also want to reiterate what the sheriff said. We have a very good working relationship with the sheriff's department. As you can tell from this, we participated back in February on this. And not just on this, we do other things with them.
Dude, are you trying to steal the show?
So we have a very good relationship with them.
No, don't do it.
How do you feel about
I told you not to do it.
such predators, people like that who are trying to imitate what you guys did?
So I appreciate what they're doing.
Okay.
We have a set of standards and rules that we have to follow. They don't, and that's been brought to my attention. But everything we do, we prepare for trial. We want to make sure all our bases are covered, that we're following all the laws that we have to follow. So I appreciate what they're doing, and some of them are very successful. We have not worked with any of those organizations, I guess is what you would call them. But, you know, it's a different set of standards for us versus them. We want to make sure that every case that we make is successful in the prosecution side of it. So we tried to build the best case we can, and like I said, follow the laws that we have to obey by. So.
If you could walk us through the operation again. You mentioned it was on chat rooms and Snapchat. And you can kind of walk us through, how you investigated and then how you found these people.
So I'm not going to speak to the details of the operation, obviously for security reasons. This is something that we have an ongoing thing with. We don't want people to know when we're out there or how we're doing it. But we have decoys out there. We don't solicit people. They solicit our decoys. They solicit everything from us. We stay very far from an entrapment. We make sure that we don't do any of that. So they are the ones that have come out and solicited our decoys, and we go from there. So
So you mentioned a lot of this is, wanting to protect children and, wanting parents to talk to their kids about, the kind of people that can lurk on social media. Can you kind of touch on that?
Parents don't want to talk to the kids
be
because they're
involved
too
in
busy
your
using the
kids'
phones
business.
as their
It's your job to
babysitter.
do it. It's not our business.
Hey.
Our kids have access to more than we ever did when we were growing up. And these people are out there, and it's not just cell phones. It's just not YouTube or web pages or those kind of things. They're in chat rooms with video games. You need to make sure that you know what your children are doing. And this goes to any platform. It can be a game as innocent as you could think. That's where they're going because that's
fucking
where they're least
Minecraft.
expected to be. They're going to set up chats. They're going to start by asking your kids personal questions, locations. They're going to start grooming your children.
Get
It goes
down.
from there. So be in your child's business. It's your job to do it as a parent.
Cat's trying to grab my rifle. Is something coming?
This is proactive. So our goal is to make it so that any of these predators are out there are scared to come to Limestone County. I said that last time, and we will continue to do these operations. We want them to know that if they are soliciting a child and they find out they live in Limestone County, that there's a good chance they're going to run into one of us. So it's, I would say, proactive 100%.
Yeah, Roblox was the other one.
Yeah, I'd love to have 0 arrests because everybody turned away when they found it was Limestone County, because that means that they're scared to come to Limestone County.
Oh,
Do I think we'll
I didn't even
ever
think about
rid it to the
Fortnite.
whole nation? Not on our own. That's a goal nationwide, but if we can get it out of our county and let our citizens know that their children are safe.
Oh, hell,
then
even
that's a
Call of
huge step, I
Duty.
think.
Something is, I think it's adults only. Well, MTV 14.
I'm not going to go into the specifics. Like, this is something we do ongoing. To get into that could jeopardize the security of the operation. So.
And then I know, I said on the release that several of them have already been bonded out. You know, how many of them are still kind of in your custody right now?
I don't know if I know the answer to that. I think we just have one, according to what he said. So, yeah.
We'll take one more question.
I was gonna say that the kind of charges that they have, you know, what kind of sentence or, you know, what kind of discipline, you know, could that come from?
They are felony charges anywhere from a Class A down, so you're looking at 20 plus. I'd kind of be speaking ignorant. I think some of them could carry a life charge. I'm not 100% sure.
Send him to
I was hoping
Florida.
The DA, but he got tied up in court, so he couldn't be here. So he could answer some of those questions. But maybe something to reach out to him and get confirmation on those for sure. So, yep. Again, I want to thank y'all. I want to ask y'all to pray for our community, pray for these officers. They've been exposed to stuff that you couldn't even imagine through these operations. So just for their well-being and their mind. And again,
You can kind of imagine there, bud. See, that's one incident. 10 fucking predators off the street. And they're all looking at least 20 years. That's a win for Alabama. It's a win. Graduated high school in Alabama. Went to first and second grade in Alabama. Caught chicken pox in Alabama. Oh, and my parents still live there. Docs. So this next one, it is about a Tulsa police officer who apparently is not a very good police officer. And he's not the kind that goes up and beats people in the streets. This is worse.
A Tulsa pastor is behind bars charged
I'm
with
sorry.
rape, child sex abuse, and incest. He just resigned from his church over the weekend. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Shay Rozzi.
And I'm Nathan Thompson. Sarah has the night off. We first told you at 5, according to an affidavit, BM Judge Bailey Sr. began sexually assaulting his victim when she was a child.
It goes on to say the abuse got worse as she got older. Until recently, Pastor B.M. Judge Bailey Sr. was a reverend at St. Andrew Christian Church
Doctor in
near
what?
36th Street North and MLK in North Tulsa. That all changed last week when a woman made a post on Facebook naming him as her abuser. She wrote, quote, "As a victim of sexual and mental abuse at the hands of Pastor Bailey for over a
you can
decade,
see my
I feel
screen in the
compelled to
background.
warn others about his predatory behavior. Despite his status as a respected member of the community, it is essential to shed light on his actions to prevent further harm to unsuspecting individuals." According to an affidavit, the abuse took place at home and started when the victim was in 6th grade. Court records say, quote, "It began with the defendant praying over her body and touching her." She told police the abuse became worse as she got older, with Bailey allegedly coming into her bedroom and raping her. According to court documents, the abuse continued when she became an adult, saying Bailey entered her home unannounced, pushed her to the floor, and sexually abused her just weeks after she had a baby.
Oh, shit.
Earlier this month, the victim and her mother went to police about the alleged abuse. The affidavit shows some of their text messages with Bailey, with him saying, quote, "I am an adulterer, I am a child molester, I am a rapist." Investigators say in another message, Bailey confessed to watching pornography involving incest and said, quote, he felt justified in acting out what was shown in the pornography because
What?
it was what people do. Police also say they have recordings and additional witness statements to corroborate the victim's story. After Tulsa police
I
arrested
don't-
Bailey
I
Wednesday
don't
after.
know what porn he's looking at, but none of them should involve children, period. Even if simulated. Well, still it'd be real because CP. Hi. My new co-host just keeps coming back.
Afternoon, his family released a statement
dude?
saying to the victim, quote, "You are a strong, intelligent, and a talented young woman. No one should ever have their trust and safety violated in such a horrific way. We are all so deeply sorry this happened to you." Another alleged victim has come forward following the survivor's Facebook post. Tulsa police say that investigation is
Not
underway.
just a kid.
In the meantime,
His
Bailey
kid,
is
huh?
being held on $500,000 bond. We also reached
Good.
out to St. Andrew Christian Church for a statement. We will share their response
Dude,
once
I'm
we
gonna need
get
you to
it.
get
Can't say
But why don't they want you talking on camera?
politics.
Politics. What, like making the administration look bad? Or...
Yeah.
Damn.
Honestly, bro, I really wish there was more people like you
Yeah.
exposing this shit.
Yeah.
Because it sucks. It truly is a horrible thing.
Yeah.
It is a horrible thing. But me, I can't do that.
But you could blow the whistle on
You
it.
sure can.
You could, but you're going to lose your job.
Yeah, exactly.
You work for MVM. And MVM
You hear
is
that?
an organization that has moved down. Yeah.
Yeah.
How many times have you heard me mention that organization?
Yeah.
It is a horrible thing.
Hold on.
But me, I can't do that.
This goes
You
back
could blow the
almost 2
whistle on
years
it.
me talking about
You
this.
could, but you're going to lose your job.
Yeah, exactly.
You work for MVM.
MVM. That is a government organization that is paid, not really government, it's a third party private company that the U.S. government has been using and paying to transport illegals from the southern border to wherever that in the United States. And that's where the child sex trafficking comes in because they lose track of them. And by how much? 336,000.
And MVM is an organization that has moved thousands.
I don't work for you.
You do not work for MVM?
I'm on vacation.
We've now landed in Houston, and it appears as if
Yeah, that's it. Thank you.
has requested a police escort because they don't want media exposing what they're doing.
Shut the door and kick you out.
But if you look, they have all of the kids wearing masks, and they have them keeping their head down. All of the kids wearing masks, keeping their head down. They're telling them to hide their face. Many of these kids go missing. You said that you were on vacation, and now you're moving this small child to the airport. I thought you were on vacation. Ma'am, I thought you were on vacation. What happened to that? Do you have any comment about children that have gone missing that you've helped to escort across the country?
As we worked our way through the list provided to us by the government insider, we encountered sponsors who, for various reasons, no longer had the child. Some told us that they had given the child to somebody else. Others said that the child had returned to their home country. One such case involved a 14-year-old girl named Linda, who had been placed with an unrelated sponsor in Nashville, Tennessee. When we knocked on her sponsor's door, we were told that she had since moved to Louisiana. We were eventually able to track her down and found her living in a rundown neighborhood on the outskirts of New Orleans.
Fuck that place.
When you were in the shelter in Pomona, California, did you at any point hear other kids say that they didn't know where they were going to? Yeah? And that they didn't know who they were going to live with?
Yes.
Yes? Did you hear that many times?
Oh, absolutely,
Yes.
Yeti.
even
And they
had a
just
little
let her
friend.
walk with an
I
escort.
can't remember her name, but she said she didn't know where she would go.
How old was she?
Same age as me, 13.
This was something you saw happening not only with your friend, but many other children as well, right?
Yes,
And did you at any point want to go away?
I did.
And was it because you didn't like where you were?
It was because of my aunt's character, my sponsor's character. She was like, if you don't pay me for this, you're not going to get that.
Oh, wow.
If you don't buy your food, you're not going to eat,
So slaves.
and so on.
Can you elaborate a bit more about how she ran you off? Where did you go?
Well, I slept in the street. I slept in the street in the cold weather. Then I talked to a friend. I had to stay in his car with a bedsheet bearing the cold.
I mean, that's still cold.
I couldn't eat. I had no money to eat.
Do you feel you were forced to work by your aunt?
Yes. She would tell me that if I didn't have money for rent, that she would kick me out. That's when she talked to the lady who raised me, my mom. And she started telling her that she was going to take me out to the street. That if I didn't give her what she wanted, we were going to be in trouble. And to this day, she's still charging me $4,000 for my trip from Honduras. When I was in school, one of the reasons why I dropped out was because she was harassing me. She kept blackmailing me, saying that if I didn't go back to live with her, that I was never going to see my mother again.
Before we visited you, did anyone from the government ever contact you from the shelter? Did they ever visit you?
No, never, so far.
Well, they just get rid of them.
I rather think that if they would have tried to contact me, when I had no place to sleep, I would have gone.
You mentioned on the phone that you did see many things on the way up here.
Yes.
Did that involve girls about your age?
Yes, and they raped her. When I was leaving, when I was coming to Monterrey, they took us off the bus. It was like a truck.
Same to you, Jenny.
And they counted us all. I was on this side, and those two girls were here. A woman grabbed them and said she was going to take them to a whorehouse. And at that moment, a middle-aged man said, "No, I'll play with them first." He took them into the car, and we could only hear how the girls cried.
How old, if you could remember, more or less, how old did they look? About your age?
Preteen?
Yes, they were about the same age. One was 13 and the other 14.
But still,
why didn't you?
The drivers who were driving were killed.
Did the drivers get shot?
Here. First they hit them on the head with boards, and then later, when they were all beaten and their faces were covered in blood, they were shot here.
Executed.
Wow.
The 3 states which have received the most alien children since 2021 are Texas, California, and Florida, with each state taking in over 10,000 per year. We were tipped off by a government insider about a suspected human trafficking case in Florida. We learned that 2 Guatemalan illegal aliens,
Savannah Hernandez wrote
Baltazar
this
and Juana, had
story a long
requested to
time ago.
sponsor 13 children across 5 different addresses in Bonita Springs, Florida. Even more concerning was that these same addresses were also being used by other illegal aliens who were attempting to sponsor children. At one particular house, 4 different adults were sponsoring at least 13 children. We were told that this case had been referred to the FBI, HSI,
No,
and
it wasn't.
HHS, but after sitting on the case for months, nothing was done about it. We were able to track down a brother and sister from Guatemala who had been delivered to the trafficking ring a few years prior. They claimed that a trafficking debt has been held over their head for years and explained
And
the
that's how they
details
get
of a
'em.
labor trafficking system that targets children.
Could you please tell us your name and whether or not you have any debts?
My name is and we came here with a, how do you say, we have a debt of 10,000 in my name and 10,000 in my brother's name to Mrs. Juana. And this lady demands a lot from us. Baltazar and Juana take in a lot of children here and put them to work.
Define work.
Sometimes they take them in one by one.
Never mind, I don't
And
want to
these
know.
children come to their house and they say to them, tomorrow. What I mean is that they find a job for each one. Baltazar finds them a job. He contacts a company. Then he tells them, you will start working tomorrow. There are others to whom he says they have to find their own jobs.
So they're worse off here.
Because sometimes Baltazar can't find work for these children.
Better life, more like slavery.
And he tells them to wait at the stop for someone to pick them up for work.
What is the youngest child you have ever seen? What is the youngest? 5 years old, 10 years old? How old? What is the youngest child you've ever seen with Baltazar?
5 years old. I lived with them for a couple of months, but I left because I didn't like it, because they were always drinking.
So the people in charge of the 5-year-olds drank a lot?
Yes, they drank.
And the men who lived in the house, who were they? Baltazar's friends?
Yes, Baltazar's friends. They didn't
Storm
live in
sounds like it's
rooms,
kicking
but
up.
imagine this house, and someone says there's a room to rent here. They put the person in the living room, and that's it. There are beds
I mean, it's a
here,
room.
beds there, beds everywhere.
And when Juana threatened you, did she find you, call you, or how did she do it?
Yes, she found me because she got angry when I left. She got angry when I left, so she asked me for money.
And is this lady threatening you?
Yes.
Okay. And what kind of threats does she make?
She threatens, as I told you,
Is
mentioning
this a
a
kid?
judge, that she's going to take something from us, that she's going to deport us.
The disastrous border policies of the Biden-Harris administration are only one dimension of the U.S. federal government's complicity in the mass trafficking of children.
That's
The
what they
entire
want.
migration pipeline, from South America up to the U.S. southern border, is controlled by networks of human traffickers who funnel tens of thousands of alien children into the United States every year. For many alien children, crossing the U.S. southern border is only the beginning of their problems. What you have seen here is a mere glimpse into the ever-growing child trafficking industry.
When I was a young soldier in Korea, they had this program that would pay for your ticket back to the States for a vacation and come back. And how they would pay for those tickets is they would be like, hey, this orphanage has had this kid get adopted. This kid was adopted in the United States. We need you to escort this kid. We'll give you a free ticket and $2,000. And now to think back to that, it's like, wait a second. I mean, I didn't do it. I didn't go to the States on my vacations. I went to the Philippines. But damn. Were we trafficking kids? Or, well, we as in the Army.
In the United States. During our 3-month investigation, we encountered numerous children who found themselves in dangerous and desperate situations after passing through the federal government's unaccompanied children program. One such child was this 15-year-old girl named Pamela, who found herself homeless in Nashville after her sponsor threw her out. When
So
we found her,
Nashville's taking
she showed
illegals?
signs of self-mutilation. Under the Biden-Harris administration, federal agencies and NGOs have been
Nashville's
granted
run by a
hundreds of
liberal.
millions of dollars to place vulnerable children in the hands of domestic trafficking networks. The only way to end this crisis is to immediately secure the U.S. southern border. The need for action has never been greater.
Almost like you could do
Thank
that
you
with
for
a
watching.
pen.
If you'd like to support
A
our
swipe
operation,
of a pen.
you can make a one-time contribution at muckraker.com/donate.
I mean, you took away all those restrictions with the swipe of a pen. Hello, Melania. Good to see you. Well, look, MVM, they've been doing that for decades. And that guy, I mean, his story was kind of short and to the point. But the one I did a couple years ago, man, the interviews they were having with some of these kids, especially in Florida, it's sad. But this is what they keep pulling across the border. 336,000 children missing that come across that border. What do you think they're using the kids for? Not to build a future. And we're going to, I can't remember what state this is. Hopefully it gives me a state. Of course it's Ohio. We're going to meet a Mr. Joshua Fryermuth, 39-year-old faggot. So let's meet Josh. Or better yet, let's meet Josh when Josh meets the cops. He's still in the car, so his camera's not, or audio's not on. All All right. Are you going to turn your audio on? Oh, he's ready. He's already got gloves on and shit. Oh, cops on. All right, kick it in. Well, get Betsy.
Alliance
taser
Police
out?
Department, come to the door.
Oh, there's another one. Does he have an AR? Third time to try and kick it in.
Come to the door. Come to the door.
Oh. Should have kicked it in.
Him? I don't know.
Kick it in anyway when he's like trying to open.
Come on, Josh.
What did I do?
What the fuck? Is this Harley Quinn?
Why are you arresting me?
What did I just
A
tell you?
trans Harley
Why
Quinn.
are you arresting me? I don't understand.
Right now, just listen to my sergeant. We'll explain
You
everything.
have the right to remain silent. Anything you say
Look at that
will be
wood
used against
paneling.
the court of law. You have the right to an attorney. Stop interrupting me, please. You have the right to an attorney. If you cannot afford an attorney, one will be appointed by the courts. You understand those rights?
Yeah.
Right now, you're under arrest for attempted kidnapping.
Why has nobody checked the rest
I've
of
been here all day. I
the...
have an alibi for God's sakes. Attempted kidnapping of who?
Who said it was today?
I didn't attempt to kidnap anybody.
Well, then why are you talking about today?
Okay, well, what are you talking about? You're arresting me for something I didn't do.
Okay.
What do you mean?
Please don't yell at me. Is there anyone else here? Is there
Yeah,
anyone
my
else?
friend that lives here, but I don't understand this. I didn't try to
How
kidnap
old is he?
anybody. This is
It's not
crazy.
my case. My job's here to apprehend you. That's it.
Dude, if
Okay,
you're
well,
pulling
well, you're
security, you should be
apprehending
facing
somebody
out, not
on
towards the
what
building.
grounds?
A warrant, like I said, 3 times though.
A warrant? I didn't. But how did I talk about? On what? I mean, on what? That's
I'll say it again. Attempted kidnapping. On a warrant. That's really all I have for you right now.
I didn't kidnap anybody.
I know you did.
I didn't
That's why
try
it's
to kidnap
attempted.
That's
anybody.
why it's attempted, you fucking retard.
I didn't try to do anything like that.
That may be the case, but right now we have reason to believe, and probable cause to believe that you did, and that's why you're under arrest right now.
What's the probable cause? Was you telling me that?
You think it took so long because he was putting on
No.
his bra and dress?
I can't know why I'm being arrested?
I already told you why you're being arrested.
Well, that's insanity. I didn't do anything like that.
Okay.
Maybe he's trying to play trans so he doesn't get stuck with the guys.
Joshua Ferrarmas, a
Oh,
Lyons,
for fuck's
Ohio
sake.
man charged trying to abduct 11-year-old boy outside his home, with arrest coming 2 days after suspect arrested on meth possession and
Look at the
drugs
van.
charges amid changing stories.
Oh, for fuck's sake. The image was so much worse. Like my eyeballs. Like I feel like I should burn my eyeballs out now. But I won't, YouTube. It's only a joke. It's only a joke. What's up, Rockstar? Good to see you, man. All right. Woosah. Calm down, YouTube. Calm down. What do we got next, YouTube? Ooh. So we're going to talk about one pedophile getting arrested to another pedophile getting arrested. But this pedophile's a little bit interesting. Because his dad, like a week before, was at a golf course. He was at a golf course.
While he was going out, the FBI stopped him and said, FBI, freeze.
Yeah, that is a sentence most people aren't used to hearing on a daily basis, but that is exactly what a mechanic at a shop in Greensboro heard on Saturday.
Exclusive video you're about to see, shared with Fox 8 tonight, shows the moments the FBI arrested the son of Ryan Ruth, the man accused of attempting to assassinate former President Donald Trump while on his golf course in Florida. Orrin Ruth, now in custody, charged with possession of child pornography and
Send him to
receipt
Florida.
of child pornography. Fox 8's Justin Lundy joining us live in the studio after finding that video for us and talking talking to people who saw him get arrested. And Justin, people were just going about their day. All of a sudden, agents come swarming.
Yeah, the mechanic I talked to said he saw the arrest and was surprised, but also said the undercover FBI agents in the video you're about to see have been around in the area for weeks. Take a look. Around 4 o'clock Monday afternoon, this security footage from a nearby mechanic business in Greensboro shows a man wearing a black hoodie walking up the gravel driveway of Van Wert Street and met by FBI agents with their guns drawn. The man with his hands up is Orrin Ruth. He's the son of Ryan Ruth, the man accused of attempting to assassinate former President Donald Trump on September 15th at his golf course in Florida. The CNA sheriff says he was one of the mechanics in this video working on a vehicle nearby.
I mean, you usually see that on TV, on the movies, but I actually saw that in real life, so that was actually cool to see, but it was also scary.
Sheriff says prior to Ruth's arrest, he had seen law enforcement officials camped out near his mechanic shop.
They were here for 1 week. They came the first time, they searched his house, and he was not here, so they just searched the house. They did a couple hours hanging around here, then they left. And then the next day again they came, they were around all night.
Federal documents say the FBI searched Orrin Ruth's apartment on Saturday. Investigators seized multiple electronic devices and found hundreds of files of child sexual abuse. He faces 2 charges of possessing and receiving child sexual abuse material. The day before FBI arrested Ruth, Greensboro police took him into custody on several drug charges, including possession of cocaine and ketamine. You can also see GPD officers assist the FBI in Orrin Ruth's arrest on Monday. Sheriff says he and his co-workers have seen Ruth around but have never had trouble with the man.
I mean, sometimes you do complain about the fact that we park our car right next to where he lives, so he complains most of the time, but other than that, there has not been any trouble.
Orrin Ruth's father, Ryan Ruth, was indicted on Tuesday on charges that he attempted to assassinate a major presidential candidate, and right now,
too bad. They couldn't be in jail together, but completely different states. Extradite his ass to Florida. They know how to handle pedophiles. All right.
Hi, Charlie.
What one was this about? No, this one's dumb. All right. So, Ted Cruz in the Senate, there's a bill that pretty much will punish people for using AI images of real people to make porn or sextorting teenagers through threats and coercion to send them more porn, child porn, or money. 99 senators voted for the bill. 1 didn't. This one should no longer
Madam President,
be in office.
The senator from Texas.
I ask unanimous consent that the quorum call be vitiated.
And it's not Ted Cruz.
Madam President, let me tell you 2 brief stories. A high schooler takes from the internet a picture of a female classmate, then uses artificial intelligence to nudify that young girl, and shares this deep fake, sexually explicit image with the rest of the school on social media. The classmate, mortified and humiliated, doesn't want to show her face at school. She's afraid. She spends a week begging her parents not to force her to go back. Her parents futilely report the images to the social media company, but they never hear even a word back. Meanwhile, everyone at the school knows who distributed this sexually explicit image of this 14-year-old girl, but he faces no consequences. Here's a second story. A teenage boy begins a relationship online with a young girl. He's smitten, and they decide to swap explicit photos with each other. But it turns out the teenage girl is a scammer, and he's just fallen prey to sextortion. The scammer repeatedly messages the young man, demanding payment, or the explicit photos will be sent to his friends via his social media network. The young man, embarrassed, mortified, thinking there's no way out, dies by suicide. His name was Gavin Guffey, and his father is here today advocating to hold big tech accountable. On my lapel, I'm wearing the heart emoji that Gavin texted his family moments before he took his own life. Where did these stories take place? Texas, New Jersey, South Carolina, Washington, California, Illinois, Florida.
Are you going to name all states?
Sadly, the answer is all of them.
Okay, that was much
American
easier.
high schools are experiencing an explosion of AI-generated sexual images. And in many cases, there is no consequence and no recourse for the teenage girls or the boys like Gavin. There have been thousands and thousands of cases of sleazebags using non-consensual intimate images to extort victims, both sexually and financially. In fact, the FBI just issued a warning this year about the growing threat of sextortion for minors online. There are dozens of families across the country whose children have taken their own lives because of
You
their
see it on the
fear of
ID
these
network
images
all the
being
time.
released. There are hundreds of high schoolers targeted, often by their own classmates, who are experiencing incredible psychological harms,
Matter of
knowing
fact,
that these images exist.
ID had, unless they stopped, they had a whole show for online shit like this. Can't remember the name of it. Fuck. I can see the commercials though.
And are still out there. And your child's images aren't just targeted while they're in middle school or high school. In New York, a young man right out of high school took images of his former classmates from their social media profiles and used AI to alter the images in a sexually explicit manner. He then posted them for the world to see, along with their personal identifying information, encouraging violence and harassment against those he was victimizing. He was convicted only of a misdemeanor, and he faced 0 charges for the deepfake explicit images. And I'd venture to guess some of the victims tried and failed to get these fake images removed by the tech company. I've spoken to these victims and their parents, including 2 14-year-old girls who were victims in the same month with the same story on opposite sides of the country. These girls were scared, they were hopeless, but they also wanted justice and relief from these images, so they took action. Elliston Berry of Texas and Francesca Manny of New Jersey bravely spoke up about their experiences and how the Take It Down Act, my bipartisan legislation with Democrat Senator Amy Klobuchar, would have protected them and afforded them justice for these horrific acts. Both Elliston and Francesca testified at a field hearing for the Senate Commerce Committee, bravely sharing their stories. There are 29 states that have not criminalized deep-fake revenge porn. Thus, law enforcement in those states cannot prosecute the slime balls who peddle this lifelike yet fake smut. That's justice denied for these teenagers and other victims. The Take It Down Act empowers victims across the entire United States. It makes it a felony for these creeps to use AI to create and publish fake, lifelike pornographic images of real people. Just as importantly, our bipartisan bill requires big tech to have a notice and takedown process so that every American, not just the Taylor Swifts of this country that are famous enough that they can get the images taken down, but every American, every teenager in junior high and high school who are victimized, like Elliston and Francesca and Gavin, can get these disturbing images taken offline immediately. I don't want to see another family suffer such a fate, which is why I'm on the floor today trying to pass the Take It Down Act. This bill is overwhelmingly bipartisan. There are nearly 20 Republican and Democrat co-sponsors of this bill. Over 80 organizations, including victims' advocates, including unions, including law enforcement, are backing this bipartisan legislation. The Take It Down Act passed the Senate Commerce Committee unanimously. Every Republican, every Democrat on the committee voted for this legislation. The House companion likewise has strong bipartisan support. The Senate has acted on parts of this issue earlier this year, having passed 2 complementary pieces of legislation 11 weeks ago. However, neither of these other bills empower victims to get their explicit images, real or fake, removed from websites. In a moment, unfortunately, you will be hearing an objection from my colleague, the senator from New Jersey, who previously supported both of these complementary bills. One of these bills, the SHIELD Act, authored by Senator Klobuchar, the co-author of my Take It Down Act as well. The SHIELD Act was significantly modified at the request of my colleague from New Jersey before he would allow that to pass. The Take It Down Act deliberately adopted the exact same language that the senator from New Jersey requested in the SHIELD Act. Everything he requested, from the same sentencing provisions to the same intent provisions to the same exceptions to the bill. Now it appears the senator from New Jersey no longer supports the language he has voted for and the language he negotiated and helped draft. It cannot be that the senator from New Jersey is concerned about free speech matters, because he has already agreed to pass 2 bills that deal with this very same issue using the same language. I certainly hope that the senator from New Jersey doesn't actually believe that realistic child pornography, as we've described here today, is somehow protected speech under any of our legal precedents. It is not. The only difference between the 2 bills that perhaps the senator from New Jersey can possibly point to is that the Take It Down Act criminalizes the publication of deepfake revenge porn, an issue this body has not yet addressed, and that the Take It Down Act requires big tech companies to remove these heinous images upon notice from the victims.
Kind of thought they already were.
In order to protect the victims. Neither of these positive changes are good reasons to hold up the bill, but they are essential to bringing justice to our constituents, from Francesca to Elliston. So if the senator from New Jersey objects, teenage girls like Francesca Manny of New Jersey, like Elliston Berry of Texas, or teenage boys like Gavin Guffey will have no protection from sextortion or from having fake sexual abuse materials, images, and videos, literal child pornography, being publicly shared by predators and sex offenders. If he objects,
it makes you wonder why he objects.
The next Francesca, the next Elliston, the next Gavin won't be able to force Snapchat or Instagram or TikTok to step up and take down this abusive content. For the folks at home, I want you to listen very carefully.
All right.
Sometimes Senate procedure can be confusing.
And boring.
I want you to listen for 2 words from the senator from New Jersey: I object. Let me tell you how this works. If he doesn't say those two words, this legislation will right now, this evening, pass the United States Senate 100 to nothing. And understand, this legislation,
100 to nothing.
99 senators have already indicated they have no objections to this
99.
legislation.
Wait.
All the senator from New Jersey has to do is not say those two words, I object.
1.
And this law is passing the Senate unanimously. On the other hand, if you hear those two words, I object, the result is going to be that this legislation is defeated on the floor of the Senate.
Which is weird.
On behalf of Elliston Berry, on behalf of Francesca Manni, on behalf of the memory of Gavin Guffey and his family that still grieves his
It's
loss.
literally 99% that would vote
On
yes.
behalf of the countless teenagers and others who have been victimized by real and by deep fake explicit image, on behalf of the thousands more teenagers and women that are likely to be victims of this abuse in the future, I urge my colleagues to come together with a simple, bipartisan, common sense
You know, it's
step
not the fact
and-
that, 99 to 1 or whether or not it's going to pass or fail. This bill that he just laid out seems pretty fucking legit. It passes a different bill that was sponsored by a Democrat. Maybe that's why he voted for it then. But when he basically said, yeah, we just copied and pasted it, and now he doesn't want to pass it, I wonder why. Is he trying to get votes from a certain group of people?
pass the Take It Down Act. Therefore, Madam President, as if in legislative session, I ask unanimous consent that the Committee on Commerce, Science, and Transportation be discharged from further consideration of S. 4569, and the Senate proceed to its immediate consideration. Further, that the Cruz-Klobuchar substitute amendment at the desk be agreed to, the bill as amended be considered read a third time and passed, and that the motions to reconsider be considered made and laid upon the table.
Is there objection?
I object.
The objection is heard.
You fucking faggot.
Madam President, I have to tell you I am saddened.
The senator from Texas.
I have to tell you I am saddened that the senator from New Jersey chose to give no explanation
Yeah, because he's a piece of shit.
for his objection. Chose to give no reason to Francesca why she's being denied. No reason to Elliston. No reason to Gavin. He had an opportunity to explain his objections. You know what he said? Nothing. Nearly 2 weeks ago was when I circulated this amendment to both sides of the aisle, and it cleared 99 senators. He had a week and a half to object. Yesterday, this legislation was about to pass, and an hour before it was going to pass, the senator from New Jersey raised his objection. He said last night,
Piece of shit motherfucker, too.
he said, Ted, I haven't had time to read the bill. Been circulated to his office 2
For a
weeks
week?
earlier, but he said he hadn't had time to read the bill. I said, great, I'll delay this for a day so you can read the bill.
And he didn't read
The
it.
language in the bill is word for word verbatim. The language you agreed to, you have voted for, and you negotiated. He said he had numerous substantive objections. If he does, we heard none of them. Not a word of
So,
it.
the way I see it, this motherfucker's advocating to let motherfuckers make fake child porn that puts children's lives at risk. And it's okay. We don't need to punish them because it's free speech. I believe in free speech too, but that's not it. That's not it. If you're going to get that soldier from Alaska with thousands of images of AI generated child pornography, it should apply to everyone as well. Because those, who knows, those may have been real victims, maybe they weren't, but they know all AI generated. Doing this, it's not okay. I mean, I don't even care if it's an adult. AI generated fucking nudes are stupid. I mean, I just started using AI and it has an option for not for safe, But why? I can make shit like this on my screen and be happy about it. Make the stuff like at the video I made at the beginning, that I played at the beginning. I don't need to do stupid shit. Plus, it's much better when you're talking to real women and interacting with real women. Yeah. And I'm going to talk about that AI generated chat on as well. So I wanted to have like a legit conversation with AI chat in that chat generator. And though I had only 5 options and they were all anime girls. So I picked one and I was talking about Tartaria. She didn't know what it was. So I'm like, we're going to go explore buildings. She said, I like exploring. What should I bring? Well, long pants and boots. He's like, okay, what else? A lantern? A flashlight? Oh, would you like to search me? No. Well, we're going to go search buildings. And then she said something else. I was like, what are your thoughts on Donald Trump? She got pissed. And I was like, this is stupid. I guess fucking nerds use that to talk sexy. To get an anime chick to be like, hey, what's up there? You 450-pound blob? Is that code red you got stuck between your tits? Can I get some?
It makes me sad that he doesn't feel his constituents deserve any explanation for blocking legislation as important as this. Madam President, it's not lost on anyone that this is an election year. And I will say, absent a single substantive objection, the obvious inference is that this objection is being made because we've got an election in less than 6 weeks. I consider the senator from New Jersey a friend. I sure hope he's not standing up here denying victims of this abuse relief simply to score partisan political points.
Wouldn't put it past him.
I would like to think he wouldn't do such a thing. But in order for me to believe he wouldn't do such a thing, he needs to actually explain some reason for his objection, which at least so far he has not bothered to do.
Say his name.
Now, I will tell you, we had an agreement negotiated with the majority leader to pass an entire package of bills.
Say his name.
Republican bills and Democrat bills that have passed the Senate Committee on Commerce, Science, and Transportation. All of that package we're going to pass yesterday until at the last minute the senator from New Jersey came with his midnight objection and no reasoning whatsoever.
Say his name.
So I'm now going to give this body the opportunity to pass the package that had been negotiated in a bipartisan manner that had been agreed to. And we're going to find out if the senator from New Jersey will not only object to providing relief to the victims of this abuse, but will object to multiple other bills that are bipartisan bills supported by members of this body because he wants to play partisan politics instead.
Loser.
I hope he does not.
He does.
Madam President, as if in legislative session, I ask unanimous consent that the Senate proceed to the immediate consideration of the following bills in block. S 4569, the Take It Down Act, Cruz-Klobuchar. Calendar number 473, S 275, the Rural Broadband Protection Act of 2024, Capito Klobuchar. Calendar number 474, S 1570, the Bottles and Breastfeeding Equipment Screening Enhancement Act, Duckworth and Daines.
What?
Calendar number 285, S 1153, the National Manufacturing Advisory Council for the 21st Century Act, Peters and Rubio. Calendar number 480, S 3475, strengthening the Commercial Driver's License Information System Act.
You know what? All this is in one bill, or if they're separate bills, I could see why he would vote no. But if he's voting specifically for that first one, yeah, I can get it. But wait, I don't get it. But when he started adding all these other ones, they sound like waste of money.
Peters and Young. Calendar number 479, S3277, the Marine Debris Reauthorization, Sullivan and White House.
Okay.
Calendar number 513, S4212, the American Music Tourism Act of 2024, Blackburn and Hickenlooper.
What the fuck is that? Is that something we do? All right, Corey, you might have a good reason.
And calendar number 485, S4107, the Think Differently Transportation Act, Duckworth and Capito. Further, that S4569 be discharged from the Commerce Committee, that the committee reported amendments, where applicable, be agreed to. The Cruz-Klobuchar amendment to S4569, which is at the desk, be considered and agreed to. The bills as amended, if amended, be considered read a third time and passed in block, and that the motions to reconsider be considered made and laid upon the table, all in block.
Is there objection?
Object.
The senator from New Jersey, objection is heard.
See, now I'm kind of curious.
Madam President, I suggest the absence of a quorum.
Considering that, well, I don't understand why it takes 100 or one vote to get it to pass, considering you already have 99%. But the way he framed it was like that's all that he was objecting to. And then when he started reading off the list of what's in this this voting thing, you're like, wait a minute. What if he was fucking objecting to something else in there? I mean, was it specifically that bill they were voting on? Or was it a package of bills like he was saying? You know what I mean? I don't know. But the way he framed it made it look like he was trying to say he was against that. And if he was against that specific bill, then shame on him. Shame on his fucking ass. All right. So Donald Trump had a visitor today. And if you'd missed it, well, here's the conference that they had in front of the media. Zelensky, take it away. Slowly walking down the hall. Faster than
thank you very much. It's an honor to have the president with us. And he's been through a lot. He's been through a tremendous amount, like probably nobody else, almost nobody else in history, if you really get right down to it.
Zelensky's face is like, fuck.
And we're going to have a discussion and see what we can come up with. But a great honor to have you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mr. President. Thank you so much for this meeting. 5 years passed.
Yeah.
So we had meeting again here in New York in September, and now there are a lot of challenges in Ukraine, United States, and of course I want to discuss with you.
Of course you do.
I think where we are together, I think we have common view that the war in Ukraine has to be stopped and Putin can't win, and Ukrainians have to prevail, and I want to discuss with you the details.
That's not what he wants to.
Thank you so much.
Remember, he said the other day, the way he wants
to
to end it is where no one wins. Not Ukraine, not Russia. So it's kind of like, just kidding, it never happened.
Do you have a question for the president?
Why did you decide to meet?
I think it's me, or to both us. Okay, thank you so much. First of all, it's very important to share all the plan, all our steps, how we can strengthen Ukraine. And of course, we have to decide it now, because after November, we don't know who is, only Americans decide who will be the president. But we understand that till November,
I think we do.
We can't stop Putin. We have to do it. We will try on the battlefield with our heroic soldiers, but we understand that after November, we have to decide, and we hope that the strength of United States will be very strong, and we count on it. That's why I decided to meet with both candidates with all honor to them. Thank you.
Mr. President. Yeah, Mr. President Trump. So what are your expectations about this meeting? So what I expect to hear from the President Zelensky, what are your expectations?
Say it a little louder.
What are your expectations from this meeting? What do you expect to hear from Mr.
Nothing.
President?
Look, this is a meeting, and we have a big race going on right now. I guess 37 days left, and we're leading in the polls, and so we'll see how it all works out. Hopefully it'll work out, but if it does, we're going to work very much with both parties to try and get this settled and get it worked out. It has to end at some point. It has to end. He's gone through hell, and his country has gone through hell like few countries have ever. Like it's happened anywhere. Nobody's ever seen anything like it. It's a terrible situation. And I will say I have had a great relationship. It was very honorable. I don't even know if you know this, but when they did the impeachment hoax, it was a hoax, just a Democrat hoax, which we won. But one of the reasons we won it so easily is that when the president was asked, it was over a phone call with the president, and he said he could have grandstanded and played cute, but he didn't do that. He said, President Trump did absolutely nothing wrong. He said
that from the beginning.
And the impeachment hoax died right there. He could have said, well, I don't know. I don't know. And I never even told you this, to be honest, but he was like a piece of steel. He said President Trump did nothing wrong. We had a very nice call. He congratulated me on his victory. He just won. And I remember that. He could have played cute, and he didn't play cute. And so I appreciated that. So we have a very good relationship. And I also have a very good relationship.
You look so
with
intimidated
President
by
Putin.
Donald.
And I think if we win, I think we're going to get it resolved very quickly. I really think we're going to get it resolved.
I hope we have more good relations.
We're going to have. Oh, I see. Yeah, but you know, it takes two to tango. You know, and we will. We're going to have a good meeting today, and I think the fact that we're even together today is a very good sign. And hopefully, we'll have a good victory because if the other side wins, I don't think you're going to have victories with anything, to be honest with you. So we're going to sit down, just discuss it, and if we have a win, I think long before January 20th, before I would take the presidency. It's January 20th. But long before that, I think that we can work out something that's good for both sides. It's time. And by the way, the president knows that too. He wants to get something done.
Oh, he knows.
He doesn't want to do this. And so we look forward to having them. I mean, I look forward to being.
Why he looks nervous.
But what I said is true. He was a piece of steel. He gave a very honest, straight answer, and that it really essentially ended the impeachment hoax. And I appreciated that. Thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you, Brett. Some Republicans were upset about President Zelensky.
Thank you very much, everybody.
Please escort out the press, right?
Right inside of the table.
All press.
You want to go this side?
No, it's okay.
Oh, it's better.
Look, they're not even walking during the
Thank you very much.
conference room.
Thank you, press. Thank you very much, press. Please be
Thank
moving.
you, press. Get the fuck out. That's pretty much what they're saying. Zelensky looks a little nervous, if you ask me.
Mogul. I mean, I don't.
But that's just me. Let's see.
My warning to them says this is a warning to the American people. I say, I personally.
All right, this last one, it's actually me replaying, reusing, whatever. Scuttlebutt's comment or video because, well, I didn't feel like looking for this whole video. And he talks like me, not the guy at testimony, but, you know, the guy talking. So we can do that. This is the last video of the day, and this should be a warning, is from what I see and heard, for everyone.
My warning to them says this is a warning to the American people. I say, I personally have no confidence that the FBI will rein in its own conduct.
FBI, open the door.
And everybody in the minority party
They're fearing what Donald Trump would do in the next administration while they sit here and they look at the guy who's been persecuted by the FBI.
Right.
And everybody in the room understands it. Mr. Allen, do you have comments you wish to make? I'll give you about a minute and a half, and then I want to turn the rest of my time to Mr. Jordan.
Sir, I would just say that I consider the hearing today my last act of service as a public servant for the United States of America. And I'll give you my professional opinion. I was an intel professional for our country for many years, and I would give recommendations, and I'd also look at indications and warnings. So I would offer this to the American people as my warning to them.
Before we get into his warning, let me give you some context. This is an FBI whistleblower, and he's telling you the dirt, man. Stand by.
Warning to the American people, I say, I personally have no confidence that the FBI will rein in its own conduct.
Wow.
I've been persecuted along with Garrett, Steve and Kyle, and countless other whistleblowers. It is my opinion that the Bureau used reprisal and fear to control the workforce.
Of course.
It has been a seemingly effective tactic. I personally believe that there are no current effective checks and balances against them conducting lawless action with any type of correction in a legitimate time frame.
Wow.
I welcome the work of the IG, but I think any type of lawless action, there's no legitimate time frame to rein them back in.
Primarily because most of Congress is compromised. They're holding the goods over the head of the people that are in our legislature. That's my personal opinion, YouTube. That's why they don't do anything.
Their ability to overclassify information can allow them to stonewall forever. To the American people, you have a duty as a citizen to vote, and I strongly urge you to do so. It's how you participate in the American experience. I know people have doubts about election integrity, but you must vote. It is your claim.
What's up, Donald?
Stake your claim and don't forfeit it willingly. Have your voice heard.
Wow.
My other recommendations are in the natural order. First, vote. The second is the Second Amendment. Arm yourself and know how to defend yourself. Make 3 to 4 friends in your neighborhood and promise to come to each other's mutual aid in times of hardship. And during the Great Depression, people stocked up a pantry. So I think that's a good practice, especially in our economic times. And make sure you have 3 to 4 months of food.
I'm just saying, this is FBI
This guy's got me
testimony.
nervous.
YouTube.
And before I finish the video, first, thanks for being here. I'm scared of these guys, to be honest with you. When I've seen what they can do with Crossfire Hurricane, Roger Stone, New York City mayor, he's part of the club. Who thinks he'd get raided? The list is long. Peter Strzok and Lisa Page, Crossfire Hurricane.
Yo, that dude.
I don't want anything to do with them. You saw this video?
Eric Adams. I'm going to get to him because his fucking charges, he should be in jail. He should be investigated for most likely treason or being a domestic spy with all those countries, to include Qatar and Dubai, paying for luxurious plane rides and hotels, some of them costing up to $41,000. That's one trip. So it's going to be interesting. But also, did it happen because he spoke out against Joe Biden? Where they stopped protecting him? Or it was, since Diddy's going down, everyone's going down. Because, they were buddies,
Video here about the guy who put the mean tweet out. He was the smartest one. He said, go get an effing warrant. If they had a warrant, you'd be in cuffs by now. I'll shut up.
As a person of faith, I'd say pray the rosary, go to the First Friday devotions. That's for everybody, all my brothers and sisters of all faiths, and I know I'm Catholic, and read the gospel of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ and live it every day. And that's all I have to say. Thank you for the time.
Mr. Allen, the fact that there are servants like you who have borne up under persecution that a lot of political leaders in this country do not care about is the thing that heartens the American people, and I'm confident the American people will resolve the situation.
Now, that's coming from a guy inside the FBI whistleblower. Now, he could be a bad employee. I get it.
When you talk about people will listen, people will fight for what they believe in. No, they won't. No, they fucking won't. And that's why I am now strictly my own island. I could spill a lot of tea, but I won't. But just know, this is my shtick. Politicians don't care. We're just going to say at least we know one politician doesn't care. But we also get that one politician that believed incest was okay, but he's dead. You got this illegal immigration. People's like, oh, they're just people trying to work. They're just people trying to find a better life. When you have 336,000 children that's come across the border that they have no idea where they're at. And the ones they do find have some pretty fucked up stories. You have pastors who commit incest with their children. Fucking retards. And we got Diddy. So this Diddy one I'm going to do, hold on. It's about 35 minutes of social media clips. Whether or not some of these videos are legit, stories are legit, it still makes you go, this really sounds like it could happen. Because it probably has. Considering we know that Chrissy Teigen admitted on live TV that the wildest place she ever had sex was with the Obamas at a Diddy party. Holy fuck. Come on. It's mad at me. Don't be a bitch. Oh, of course. There's no way the storm is causing my fucking internet to be stupid. Give me a minute. Let's do the... Oh, you're not going to get that awkward silence for 30 minutes. Sorry, guys. Would you like it to happen? Because here we go. Oh, first of all, not all Americans are perfect. Obviously, that's proven with the people we have running around. Both from the streets all the way up to the top. You know, the top 1%. I think it's more like 10%. More like it, because they're all just one big fucking cocksucking family anyway. Y'all ready for some Diddy bullshit? I know you are, because I am too. Let's get to it.
They're worse because of the psychological torture that comes along with what he does. Like I said,
do you think Jay-Z is scared right now?
Oh, he's terrified. He's terrified.
Terrified.
He's losing confidence everywhere. But the only confidence he's worried about keeping secure are those white boys that he worked for.
Ooh. Bruh.
That's his only loyalty.
The white boys she works for. White boys. I'm gonna say she's talking about the evil Jews that run the world. Alright? Just gonna say that. YouTube, that's just an opinion that I heard from inside my head. I don't know which voice said it, but I just repeated it. Not my opinion, but it is my opinion. Oh, wait, you can talk bad about Jews on YouTube.
Ooh. Not even to his wife is he loyal.
But what do you think? And just again, hypothetically, if his kids, as young as they are, asked, "Daddy, who's that man on TV getting arrested? Isn't that your friend?" What would his response be?
He wouldn't respond. He would just laugh and walk away. That's Sean Carter. He doesn't own up to anything.
There's a better Sean Carter than that one. Come on.
Ever. Gaslight you right in your face. Do it smooth. He's a sociopath. He doesn't have any real feelings or emotions. Everything is transactional. You know? I think the only time he's really comfortable and happy in his own skin is when he's laying in the warm embrace of a man.
Wait, are we talking about Jay-Z?
Feelings or emotions. Everything is transactional. You know?
Yo, is that her Cash App?
I think the only time he's really comfortable and happy in his
Sure the
own
fuck
skin
it
is when he's laying in the warm embrace of a man.
Jack, come on. Jack.
What?
Come on, man. You can't paint those kind of pictures into people's heads, man.
No, listen. If it's like 12 degrees outside and you're sleeping in the middle of the woods, it's okay. It's not gay. But if you feel something poking you in the butt, then it's gay. But as long as, they don't go poke your butt even more, it's kind of fucked up. Just kidding. We're all wearing clothes. Some of us. But whenever I got in my sleeping bag, no one was allowed in that bitch. And I had my boots, my uniform. Because when it's fucking 12 degrees outside and you put on a cold ass uniform, when your body's at 99 degrees inside that sleeping bag, it fucking sucks. I used to take a lighter to the inside of my boots just to knock the chill out. I learned a lot of things as a dumb private by experience. But yeah, that lighter shit worked. And then I was like, wait a second, what if I keep them inside my sleeping bag? Yeah. All right. Completely useless story. Fuck. I like that, Donald T. Fuck yeah. That almost seems like a
Why it got painted in the mind with the
where's that dude that
videotape that
haven't
I
seen in a while?
saw of him looking very happy in the embrace of a man.
Narp. Clit.
I didn't want to believe it.
No, not clit.
Damn, okay. Well, Jack,
I couldn't believe it. Then it all made sense, you know?
Jack, what was
Jay.
the last conversation that you and JC had? How did that go?
He told me he was going to end my career and make sure no one in the world ever knew I existed. And I told him it was a pretty big world, and we'll see,
I have no
Sean.
idea who the fuck you are.
Amazing hat trick.
Yo, is that a cunt cap? No.
What up, man? We ain't gonna stop with just P. Diddy, man. Go ahead and lock Jay-Z up, too. He need to be right there, cellmate with P. Diddy. All the stuff Jay-Z done did, he need to be in there with P. Diddy, too. Goddamn me. Not just
I know,
that.
I'm
He
trying to
told this
remember.
lady, Rihanna, when she was 16 or 15,
Because you were on
underage,
Def's
wasn't
panel and
grown,
just fucking
that
blew it
either
up.
she gonna sign this deal
It was an epic panel.
and walk out the door, or she not gonna sign that deal and go out the window. And it was
I can't remember the name.
29 flights up.
Lord Cuck.
Come on, man. Lock the door. You held that girl against her will. Ain't no telling what else she did in that room. If he'll do all that, ain't no telling what else he did in that room. Lock his ass up. Lock his big nose ass up. Lock him up. Give him a bump. Give his nose a bump. Get his lips a bump. Have them all in there in the same cell together. Him, his nose, his lips,
Yeah, I'm just
all
curious.
that. Lock his ass.
Can Jay-Z get out of it?
Yeah, we ain't.
Because his status?
No, it's time out for this foolishness, man. The Diddlers in there. Put Jay-Z in there and put their baby oil in there with them. Lock them up. Lock them up, man. When I heard about this story, I just got my page back, y'all. They had hacked me, like legit hacked me, man. So I'm letting y'all know now. Don't click on no links. Don't be half asleep on your phone, because that's what I did. They clicked on a link about a blue check and they hacked me. They took my money that I get paid this last month. They took it, but I'm back now. And this is the introduction video. Anybody that doing somebody wrong, we locking their ass up or we kicking ass. So since we can't get to Jay-Z, lock his ass up with the rest of them. Lock him up with Diddy. He needs some company anyway.
Like, they have all these videos already. They know, like, Usher was one of them. Why the fuck is he not in jail? They knew... Cuba Gooding Jr. was in one of the videos. witness his testimony. Why is he not locked up? What are they waiting for? Is this going to be like a whole Jeffrey Epstein type deal? Same prison or same jail. Same jail.
Wait, man, let's go. Drop your comments, man. Did y'all hear this story about this here? And what's going on, man? Hey, I'm back, baby. Big talker, man. Let's go.
Y'all, some crazy documents just leaked from the ongoing federal case against Diddy, and it looks like we finally have
No, man, I'm
confirmation
not a fan of
that
that
although he
drama
was
shit. That's so
Rihanna allegedly
stupid, man.
Jay-Z's victim,
Good
but he
real world
also
drama.
sold her to his
Well,
BFF Diddy, as well as
this not necessarily is real world drama here, but this could be. Because who knows, like, up and coming kids that were, like, used at these parties, and they're like, well, I didn't think the music industry was like that, and they go and they get destroyed for the rest of their lives because of one incident when they were trying to get famous.
other people in the industry. The streets have been saying this for a hot minute now, that Jay-Z is not exactly innocent because he and Diddy were up to some real crazy stuff on the down low, and it looks like those shenanigans are finally coming to light. Y'all, looks like we finally know why Rihanna never wants to get in the studio again. According to these documents, she was allegedly turned every way but loose. Y'all need to get in on this because this tea is absolutely crazy. The streets have been buzzing about Rihanna and Jay-Z's real relationship for ages, and those rumors just don't seem to fade. Rihanna entered the industry as a teenager, and Jay-Z was her mentor, basically running every part of her life. The gossip about their dynamic has always stayed strong, even though they have both denied being involved with each other. Rihanna didn't take his mentorship for granted because she was super grateful for every opportunity that she had been given.
Working with Jay and having a collaboration with him is just one of those things that everyone dreams to do in their musical career. And here I am at 19 years old with the #1 single and featuring Jay-Z. It's just, I can't fathom it sometimes. It's just too much for me it's overwhelming sometimes.
Hey man,
Then the tea
think about
started
that's the
spilling
same
that
situation
Jay-Z
as
and
Cassie. It's how Diddy got Cassie famous.
Rihanna might have secretly had something going on, even though he was married to Beyonce. At first, people weren't
coming up. Sean will talk. That's why Jay-Z is running. That's why Jay-Z is nervous. Jaguar is talking about it. So many
This
other
dude on
artists at the moment. The industry is
the right,
organization.
can't remember his
ends up
name,
in my
Jaco
office.
Bouillon or
In
some
my
shit like
office,
that.
unannounced.
This dude legit
In my office
fucking
saying, will you help me? I'm not part of it.
he's dead serious on catching these motherfuckers.
Whoa.
Start speaking up about his very good friend. Just 9 months ago, you were singing his praises.
Diddy's been arrested, and now some major names are getting dragged into this mess. We're talking about none other than Jay-Z and Beyonce.
Allegedly, I'll say allegedly, because they make us, right? Minors did attend these parties. Minors. That charge has not been brought yet.
Rumor has it they might have
Because
helped
they
Diddy
don't
pull
tell
off these
you.
shocking crimes.
All you're
and now they're
hearing
trying-
is Diddy. Diddy was fucking guys. That's all you hear. They don't think about the ages of those guys.
to make a run for it. But Diddy also tried to flee, and we all know how that ended for him.
Hip-hop mogul Sean Diddy Combs is in custody this morning after being detained overnight by federal authorities in New York.
So, is the power couple about to face the same fate? Are Jay and Bey really involved in all this, or are they just trying to cover their tracks before it all blows up? Let's find out. Diddy's facing some heavy charges this week: racketeering, conspiracy, and ST.
Rico.
And he's pleaded not guilty, but he's still locked up until his federal trial in New York. So what's next for the 54-year-old music mogul? And what about the employees and associates who were allegedly caught up in all this? Damian Williams, the U.S. attorney behind the indictment, didn't give much away when asked if Diddy or others could be hit with even more charges. Seems like
we
this
know it's
case
coming.
might have a lot more twists to come. I can't rule anything out. Anything's possible, Williams said. The investigation is very active and ongoing, and if you know anything about how this office works, you know developments are definitely on the horizon. But I can't say for sure right now.
No, Donald.
Beyonce, it's
I
not
think
looking
at this,
good for you.
I honestly,
Freddie P from making the band.
I honestly think her parents were okay with it. They knew. Why are we going to send this 13-year-old kid to live with a 30-year-old man? They knew. They probably got paid well. And as bad as that sounds, it's Georgia for a young black couple. in the 80s, 70s or 80s. 90s, sorry.
Just revealed that Diddy actually made them boys walk the streets in New York to get cheesecake for you. And he said that you was upstairs the whole time. But just why were
Well,
you?
what the
What
fuck? Is
business
that
did you
Bret Hart?
have with the diddler? You never made an appearance on the show. Yikes.
Yo, these shades is crazy.
But see, the Carters are just having a week between Freddie P revealing this information, Nicki Minaj going off on Jay-Z and Flop Nation about all of that mess with Tidal, and we saw you signing in a different area and people really didn't make no money from Tidal, according to Nicki and Kanye.
What the fuck is she talking about?
It's just not looking good for y'all. It seems like the walls are really closing in on y'all. To add onto it, Chloe Bailey bouncing around on IG because she said y'all won't book her on
Yeah,
the
but
stage. Beyonce, Jay-Z,
what
get
if
ready.
these motherfuckers went to an island with no extradition? Because, you know, they have houses probably on those islands or countries. When are they leaving? Are they leaving? Are they even still here?
Because the feds is coming.
What's that? That's Mauve King?
Niggas feeling marvelous.
Wait, was I right, Donald T?
I gotta get the shoes though. Y'all know what it is.
One of them says that they had an interaction with Diddy in 2014, and they are willing to tell the feds what they know about that interaction. And another one said that they are willing, and not only willing, but have been subpoenaed to go before the grand jury. So the second person could end up going before the grand jury. At this stage, they are just going to be interviewed by prosecutors. Clearly, they're trying to figure out what these other witnesses know and how they can help them convict Diddy. And that's the name of the game at this point for the feds.
A former warden has publicly stated that Diddy's life could be in jeopardy while he remains in custody.
Weapons during raids, revealing disturbing details about Diddy's alleged abuse. They found, apparently they said, what did they find? The amount of stuff they found on the place, which was ridiculous.
100 bottles of baby oil.
I think Bieber had it worse.
And his 1,000 bottles of lube and baby oil found in a federal raid. He took a shot at Diddy
after Diddy had before Diddy met Bieber, and they were talking about that 40-hour. They're gonna, be boys. They were all cool with each other, But then you see interviews after that, and Bieber's just fucking scared of him. Like, Bieber was maybe like 15. And he's like, why didn't you call me anymore? But Bieber was legit scared of him.
His longtime rival was arrested on sex trafficking and racketeering charges. He says the In the Club rapper 49 posted a picture on Instagram from his appearance on the Drew Barrymore show and made a crack about $1,000 bottles of lubricant and baby oil that were seized by Homeland Security at Combs' home back in March. Here I am looking good company with the Drew Barrymore 50-cent caption alongside a snap of himself. I'm Drew Barrymore 49.
Did you ever go to a Diddy party?
Yes.
And what was it like?
A Diddy party?
Is it like what they have in the media or
off the hook?
Off the hook.
And whenever they went into the quote-unquote alleged other section, I was never there.
The more and more names I see coming out, like, dude, any respect that I had for like certain Hollywood or certain artists, musicians, athletes, LeBron James. I've never respected that guy just from day one. When he came into the league as a rookie, and people were like, this dude's going to be the next thing since sliced bread. Well, maybe he was, but no, he's not to me. But when he says that Diddy parties were legit and lit, and probably Bronny went to them with him too. They did the after parties. Fuck Tyrese.
Seeing y'all comments, man. And y'all been saying everybody that said they go to his party, anytime it's about to get time for whatever the freak off time, nobody is there. Everybody say, well, I left early and all that. So that's why I laugh, because I be reading y'all comments.
I think in general, getting away from Diddy, and God bless him and whatever else he's dealing with. I don't beat people while they're down. That's just not who I am character-wise. No one can erase his legacy. Bad Boy Records and Faith Evans,
He
and
is.
Biggie and Craig Mack and 112 and Total.
Charlemagne.
And,
Oh my
I
God,
mean,
that dude.
Mogul. I mean, I don't know what all that other is going on, or allegedly, but man,
And I was thinking,
you know, legacy is
all
legacy.
this started was with an interview with Cat Williams and Shannon Sharp. All this started, and Cat Williams was right. 2024, a lot of motherfuckers are going to go down, and it's going to destroy the country. Well, not really destroy the country, but he was right. He was right.
Legacy, man. You know, surviving Neverland. Did that stop you from listening to Michael Jackson after the documentary came out? I don't know.
Paul Carter is just as bad as the diddler.
Oh, I don't give a fuck about likes.
And I know that for a fact. I got the scars to prove it.
Once they, and I hope they don't, but if they detain him, that's when all mother lining up with their hand in air.
And you're gonna pay me in full. I got your boy Diddy by the nut.
Looks like things are getting real messy between Diddy, Jay-Z, and R. Kelly. So,
What?
R. Kelly, locked up and doing time, has been pretty quiet for a while, but rumors are flying that he's about to spill everything.
Revenge, and that was his revenge to
Now he's gonna
fund the
spill
Surviving
everything?
R. Kelly documentary, and that fucked R. Kelly life and got him locked.
The word on the street? Jay-Z might have had a hand in putting R. Kelly away. There's
Wow.
talk that Jay was not
Really?
only in the background funding that bombshell R. Kelly documentary, the one that was key in court, but also whispering to the feds? Is it true? And if so, how deep does this rabbit hole go?
Life sentence for R. Kelly.
This man is a
You know, when I
prolific
started
serial
doing the original Epstein, that rabbit hole, that shit still haven't gotten all the answers for it. And it's been how many years? 8? And we're just starting with this? Who's covering this shit up, though? Who's hiding it? We know why. But who?
who utilized his status as a Grammy Award-winning household name to inflict pain and anguish on so many victims.
Here's where it gets juicier. You know, Jay-Z and Diddy have always had that tight connection. Besties, business partners, or something else. Sources are now claiming that both of them are Fed informants. Yeah, you heard that right. But with Diddy now staring down a massive court case, it seems like some skeletons are about to come crashing out of the closet.
Are any of his accomplices or associates under investigation? And additionally, could he face any more charges?
So the investigation is ongoing. That means both as to him.
Could R. Kelly be sitting on some explosive info about Diddy, just waiting for the perfect moment to strike a deal and possibly walk out of prison early? And seriously, if R. Kelly does speak, who's about to get burned? Buckle up, because this one's about to get wild. So it all started when Diddy's arrest news spread like a fire. Many disturbing things have been found during investigation, and some sources suggest that Diddy is not alone in all these things.
So the investigation is ongoing. That means both as to him and to anyone else who we believe committed the crime with him.
Rumors started swirling that someone else was getting close to Diddy, and guess who popped up as
Williams just dropped an insane bombshell on
Oh.
Diddy, saying Diddy's wild freak-off footage is just the appetizer, and Jay-Z might be the main course for the feds. According to Kat, the feds have hours and hours of freak-off footage that are horrifying, to say the least. And get this, he's claiming that Jay-Z is allegedly on the list. Now, Kat's been trying to warn us about Diddy for years, but nobody was listening. Well, guess what? They're listening now. Diddy's in hot
When
water,
it's too fucking
facing
late.
multiple lawsuits, and even got arrested. The accusations? Let's just say they're not pretty. We're talking non-consensual acts, folks. But hold on to your wigs, because this is just the
2024
beginning.
is a
Kat's
fucking
hinting that
weird
there's
year,
way more
man.
dirt about to come out, and it's all swirling around Jay-Z. We're talking footage that'll make your jaw drop, because Kat is now claiming that Jay-Z is going down, and he is going down hard. So what's the deal with these so-called freak-off tapes? Kat's saying they're so shocking, they make Cassie's lawsuit look tame. But here's the kicker. It's not just Diddy on those tapes. Word is, there might be footage of Jay-Z that could change everything we thought we knew about hip-hop's power couple. The tea is piping hot, and Cat Williams is serving it up scalding. He's talking about hours and hours of footage that's got the feds working overtime. We're not just talking about your average celebrity scandal here. This is next-level stuff that's got everyone from music execs to A-list celebs sweating bullets. Now, let's break it down.
If you think about it, when Diddy got arrested, I can't remember who it was. It was one. Fuck, what record label was? But he stepped down the very next day because his ties to Diddy. It was one of Diddy's record labels.
These freak-offs Cat's talking about, they're not your run-of-the-mill wild parties. We're talking about some seriously messed up stuff that's allegedly been going down behind closed doors. And get this, it's not just random people involved. We're talking big names, folks. The kind of names that make headlines just by walking down the street. But here's where it gets real juicy. Cat's dropping hints that Jay-Z might be caught up in all this mess too. Can you believe it? The man who's been at the top of the game for decades might be about to take a serious fall. And if what Cat's saying is true, it's
You're
gonna
right,
shake
Donald.
the entire
You're
industry
right.
to its core. Now you might be thinking, hold
And-
up, how do we know this isn't just some crazy rumor? Well, here's the
I think it's going to happen because, like I said, that Zelensky meeting, Zelensky had that look on his face like, fuck, this could be bad for me. So he's going to try and make a huge deal with Donald if case Donald wins. Because he knows at that point that he's going to have to stop the war.
thing. The feds have been on Diddy's case since 2008. That's over a decade of surveillance, folks.
He was trying to get at her as well.
Since
And I didn't know.
2008.
He was sending flowers and he was courting her.
Because the rumor originally was that you were connected to Jay. Exactly. Jay and I were hanging out a lot. He's my homie. We have a lot of fun together, but we never dated.
Child, this is a hot stinking mess. But that wasn't all the wild things that Jay-Z was doing. Dame said he was forced to cut Jay off as a friend after he realized Jay was willing to do anything for power, even if that meant sacrificing the careers of naive girls associating with predators in the industry. Now, in case y'all are wondering why Dame was even saying this, well, it's because at the time that R. Kelly was exposed for messing with underage girls and even faking documents to marry Aaliyah when she was 15. Jay was still shamelessly supporting R. Kelly and even
15.
made an entire joint with him. He was
And he knew.
basically saying he didn't give a care in the world about them victims, and he was still helping R. Kelly's career.
Idea of having a whole album with myself and R. Kelly is just
Well, that's kind of why I'm considered a threat to democracy, because I believe we need to go isolationists. We take care of our country. Our money comes to our country. We can fix problems. Fuck everyone else. Once we get right, then we can get them right. And if they can't get right themselves, then that's on them. That's on them. We are the youngest nation in the country, or in the world. Youngest country in the world. Don't tell me we got everything figured out when, like I said, we're one of the youngest countries.
to see how it would come out was just an amazing prospect. So we put it together, man. We started coming up, and here we are.
A real hot mess, but it gets even worse because when Aaliyah passed away in that fatal plane crash, it was rumored that her death was a sacrifice and that some of the industry elites, aka Jay-Z and R. Kelly, had allegedly orchestrated that as a sacrifice to the Illuminati. These rumors got fueled when the details of her strange death were released. It turns out Aaliyah was never even supposed to be on the plane that day. She was given a sedative without her consent, and when she went unconscious, they put her in against her will.
The plane crash that killed a rising star in the world of music.
I don't think it's that they don't know. I think that's what they want. Because we're going backwards, and not the backwards that we should be going. Just we're going backwards with certain groups of people, whether it's race or ethnic background or even financially. They want everybody to be poor. That way everyone's equal. You get your equity and equality. And then if you work hard, the guy that's next to you, he gets rewarded. And the guy that's next to him, he gets rewarded. And they did less than you.
Music and film. Reaction today after Aaliyah and 8 others were killed when their plane went down.
The plane, just after taking off for Florida in perfect weather, suddenly plummeted to the ground. Investigators now saying one of the engines apparently failed. Along with 8 passengers, Aaliyah, a young Brooklyn native and a talented singer and actor.
If Jay-Z ends up becoming the next suspect, of the downfall of the black billionaires, Are y'all gonna bully Beyonce just as much as y'all bully Nicki Minaj about who she chooses to be with? Because, a lot of y'all have returned y'all Barb card off, off the strength that Nicki Minaj is married to a sex offender or, a felon or whatever the case may be. Are y'all gonna keep that same energy with Beyonce when all of their dirty
I bet
laundry,
you they
if
don't.
their dirty laundry starts to come out?
Because
Because
Beyonce's
just as
Queen
much,
Bee.
and then I'll even switch it over, just as
Queen
much as
Bee,
y'all
right?
drag.
She came out with a country album. And guess what? She wasn't nominated for one single country music award when it was supposed to be one of the best selling country albums of all time. We know why, if you consider it that way. Because it wasn't bought by people that listen to country music, for damn sure.
And Carisha and how she knew about this stuff, and there's no way you just, were avoiding 1,000 bottles of baby oil. There's no way that Beyonce knew this man since she was 19, been with this man since she was 19, and doesn't know about the things that he's been doing. Are y'all gonna bully her too, or is Beyonce above that? Is she pure
Bro,
and have?
I used to think when I was growing up as a kid and even younger, women really, when they wore makeup, it wasn't really a dramatic change. It was more like, oh hey, you just went from a 7 or from a 5 to a 7. Just a little cleanup. And then you look at the girls these days, including guys, because they do this fucking faggot ass shit too. They cake so much on there that they're like, oh, she looks great. And you get up close and it's like the fucking Death Becomes Her with all the fucking spray paint on them.
Heavenly and nobody
When if
better
they
not
didn't
call her
have that, they would
Beyonce.
actually be
Or
cute.
are y'all gonna
I mean,
Are y'all
not
gonna
that.
do her like y'all
Yeah,
do Nicki?
I just said it.
I
Women's
just want to
looks.
know.
Yeah,
I need somebody to tell me what's going on.
that's what men like. Sometimes if you have a brain, it works. 9 times out of 10 is by looks. And women do the same thing too. Women do the same thing too. Imagine we're in public. Somebody like me walks up to you, and somebody like Brandon walks up to you. Who are you more willing to talk to? And if you say Brandon,
Because apparently these two are
yes,
AWOL.
JD Vance.
Missing in
The first
action.
time I
Ain't
saw
nobody
Vance,
seen
I was
or
like, this motherfucker is wearing eyeliner or mascara. That's the first thing I saw when I thought of when I saw Vance.
heard a peep from them. The music industry is on the verge of putting out a missing person report for Beyonce page 6 hears. With her once blazing country album, Cowboy Carter, already going the way of the tumbling tumbleweed, biz vets say the superstar has inexplicably gone AWOL. And insiders are muttering that it might be because she and husband Jay-Z are nervous about showing their faces during Diddy's vast abuse scandal,
Yes,
lest they draw
Melania,
attention to their
I
longtime
agree.
friendship with the disgraced
And
hip-hop
I've just been
mogul. Adding
fortunate.
fuel to the fire, the report highlighted the ongoing abuse scandal surrounding Combs.
Been very fortunate as a man in society where a lot of natural beauty gets attracted to me, or was, because now I just look like a fucking caveman. So there's that.
Multiple women have come forward with harrowing accounts of sexual and physical assaults, casting a dark shadow over the hip-hop mogul's legacy. While there is no direct connection between Beyonce, Jay-Z, and the lawsuit against Combs, the insider hinted at a possible link. Now, I don't know about you guys, but on my old account, I covered them very
Old
frequently.
account. That means she
And
got
one thing
banned.
I do know is Jay-Z and Diddy, they're like this. If anybody knows anything about Jay-Z, it's Diddy. If anybody knows anything about Diddy,
I think they're
it's
just talking
Jay-Z.
about them
They're probably
sleeping
not
together.
even missing. They probably just off in the cut somewhere minding their business. But for an outlet like Page 6 to say, hey, where they at? We don't hear nothing about Cowboy Carter anymore. We don't hear anything about Jay-Z or Beyonce. What's going on? I had posted it on my old account by Sloan Bella, and she said that there's a political figure behind the reason Diddy is not locked up yet. All I'm gonna say is he used to be president and his last name starts with an O.
Baby, it
Oh.
looks like Jay-Z and Beyonce are already
What
feeling the heat
president
after Diddy's
had
arrest.
the last
Because
name
word on the
begin with
street is
O?
Jay-Z just met up with a
Hold on,
criminal
let me
attorney.
think. The past couple years. Bill Clinton. C. Nope. All right, so after Clinton, we had Bush. Bush. That's a B. Nope, not an O. And after Bush, we had. Oh. We'll skip that one because I don't think that's him. And then after that, we had Trump. T. O. No. Then Biden. Biden. That's a B, not an O. So let's go back to the O. Who was the O? Barack Obama.
Attorney and a divorce lawyer all on the same day. This news just sent the internet into a frenzy because just after Diddy's arrest, there was word going around that the feds were eyeing Jay-Z as the next person to investigate because of his strong affiliations with Diddy and some of the dirty deals that they made together in the past. But no one expected for things to catch up to Jay this early. Everybody thought that the feds would be looking into him after Diddy was tried and sentenced, but considering the fact that he just met up with a criminal defense lawyer, it means the end might be nearing closer than we think. And Beyonce is not waiting around to get dragged along with him. She's reportedly already getting divorce papers together and is ready to disappear.
How do they know this though?
Yo, bitch, you're just as guilty.
Like how?
Once stuff hits the fan. Child, without wasting any more time, let's just get right into it because the tea is piping hot. Now, as y'all already know, Jay and Diddy were pretty.
Guess who's always at P. Diddy's parties? Kelly Rowland. Don't know who Kelly Rowland is? Look at what band she used to be in, or group she used to be in.
Pretty much besties in the industry, and they did everything together. At some point, Diddy even was referring to Jay as his brother. However, right after Diddy was incriminated in Cassie's lawsuit, Jay started distancing himself so the heat wouldn't catch up to him too. But it's too late for all that now, because this whole mess is at his front door, and Beyonce is not sticking around to help him through it. In fact, the rumors about Beyonce leaving him have been going around for a few months now, but everybody thought it was a lie. The rumor was started by the YouTube tea blogger Storm Monroe. According to Storm, he's got several insiders in the industry, and his source, who's actually in Beyonce's camp, spilled some tea exclusive to him, claiming that Beyonce has been gearing up to leave Jay since last November when Cassie filed that lawsuit. According to this source, the reason why Beyonce has been pushing all these products and trying to push albums down folks' throats is because things are about to get really bad, and she's trying to make as much money as she possibly can before Jay is exposed by the feds.
The streets are saying that Beyonce done packed her stuff and packed her kids and dipped away from Jay-Z. This isn't all that surprising because there have been rumors that their marriage is on its last leg and is barely hanging on by a thread. This is an interesting turn of events because their marriage has always been allegedly a business transaction. And the only reason they have stayed together so long is that it financially made sense for them to be together rather than apart.
To stay on the top. So remember, your relationship was a business relationship, financial, to get to the top, to become billionaires.
Did they pay their fair share?
No love there. See, what's done in the dark will definitely come in the light. Keep your threats up. I'm here today, and what I got to say, I'm gonna say it. So don't make idle threats to me.
So as long as it made sense for them to be together, and as long as they could keep up the image of being the #1 power couple in Hollywood, nothing could tear them apart or break their marriage. But now it looks like the marriage is at risk because rumor has it that Jay-Z is about to get the Diddy treatment, and he is on his way down just like Diddy. For some context, there have been rumors now that Beyonce is gradually checking out of the marriage and that she has been separated from Jay-Z for a hot minute now.
What I've heard about them as a couple is that they've been living separate lives for a very long time. So they together, but they living separate. And part of the reason why they're already living separate lives, and we may actually see one of the biggest divorces in Hollywood, is because Jay-Z's up next to be exposed. And it's only so much of these stories that Jay-Z can, he can pay off, or he can block. He won't be able to stop this. And she knows it, and he knows it too. As far as who's gonna be the breakout victim / story, I don't know. Yeah, I might have to ask you something. I don't know. But I'm just letting you know that once that comes out,
the fall of Jay-Z.
Why are we not talking about Diddy's son too?
April the 24th, 2024, and God is saying that the Queen and the King have started their downward descent, and that absolutely nothing is going to stop it. The Lord is saying that these people are guilty of heinous crimes, and that he is going to see to it that evidence about them will get into the right hands, and then their fall will be monumental, which means we will never forget it, and disastrous. They're guilty of horrible acts, and crimes that they have committed in private, meaning it could be one of them with a child, it could be both of them with a child or children, but they have also committed the horrible acts and crimes against in public. That means that there have been other witnesses to this. It could be consenting witnesses. It could be people who have been hurting the child with them, or it could be non-consenting witnesses, meaning people of lower station, perhaps a cook, perhaps a driver, perhaps
you were
a
right.
butler,
They were.
perhaps a personal assistant, people who have stories to tell. But because the season was not right to speak against such powerful and well-protected people, they couldn't say anything. But now God says that there will be a mountain of evidence coming out and that people will be more than eager to testify. So people have been hurt and people will have grievances and people will be coming out and talking, and this thing will become a snowball. And who will be going down in it is Beyonce and Jay-Z. So that is the full dream. And I just want to say to people that I can already...
How could I keep secrets, Sean?
Jag again.
And I'm gonna tell you something else, and I'll give you this one for free. Big L, better than you do, Nick. I'd rather be with that dead man than ever be with you.
Because the Diddy. Oh! Diddy done turned over tapes.
Jaguar Wright knows it all, and she's finally exposing all the darkest secrets in the industry. She hasn't taken a break ever since Diddy got his first lawsuit, and now 5 suits later, and she still hasn't stopped. But she's not only calling Diddy out. No, many other Hollywood bigwigs have entered the mix, including the power couple itself, Jay-Z and Beyonce. You've all seen the footage of the feds raiding Diddy's mansion and turning it upside down. Hold on to your seats because the latest update will leave you shocked. Rumor has it they found some tapes that will not only send Diddy straight to jail, but his associates
happened to
too.
Usher. And then instead of ending it, Usher decides to turn it right back around and do it to Bieber, which is fucked up.
And Jay-Z is terrified of the footage they might find. Jaguar says it's something involving him and Beyonce, and it doesn't look good for them at all. Now, Diddy started off 2023 on fire, killing it at the MTV VMAs, dropping a fire R&B album, and even rumors of him buying up the BET network. But then, things took a nosedive real quick. He got hit with a slew of lawsuits accusing him of some serious stuff, and it's definitely put a dark cloud over his career. Rumor has it that the authorities even raided some of Diddy's spots as part of a massive federal investigation. And get this, the Department of Homeland Security Investigations Transnational Organized Crime Division is leading the charge. It's all about some serious crimes, and some folks even got detained. And where was Diddy during all this drama? It's still a mystery.
You wanted Bieber to get famous.
Got stormed too after some hefty allegations were thrown his way in multiple civil lawsuits filed in New York. So picture this: Diddy's crib, Homeland Security raid, and guess what they find? Not just any old stuff, but a goldmine of gadgets, laptops, phones, you name it. Now you know when the feds roll in with that gear, they're on a mission. And oh boy, did they find some treasure, all right? Compromising tapes. Diddy's lawyers are out here screaming witch hunt, while the feds are busy piecing together this puzzle of hidden cameras and those tapes. His attorney said yesterday there was a gross overuse of military-level force as search warrants were executed at Mr. Combs' residences. There is no excuse for the excessive show of force and hostility exhibited by authorities or the way his children and employees were treated. Mr. Combs was never detained, but spoke to and cooperated with authorities. Despite media speculation, neither Mr. Combs nor any of his family members have been arrested, nor has their ability to travel been restricted in any way. This unprecedented ambush, paired with an advanced, coordinated media presence, leads to a premature rush to judgment of Mr. Combs and is nothing more than a witch hunt based on meritless accusations made in civil lawsuits. There has been no finding of criminal or civil liability with any of these allegations. Mr. Combs is innocent and will continue to fight every single day to clear his name. Now, here's where it gets juicy. Word on the street is Diddy might have had a hand in serving up these tapes to the feds. And guess who's the star of one of these tapes? None other than the Carters. Yeah, you heard me right. Apparently, Diddy's got a knack for keeping receipts, and he's not afraid to use them. Why would Diddy spill the tea on Jay and Bey? Well, rumor has it that it's payback time. Seems like Diddy felt a little neglected during his legal battles and decided it was time to
protective of my kids. You even look at them wrong, especially if you're an Indian guy in an Indian store in Nashville, and you think I don't see you. I saw you, and you knew I saw you, because I got in your face. It happens everywhere. This Indian motherfucker thought he was being cute when me and my kids were at the store, and he was like trying to side-eye them and shit, and I said, like, what the fuck? And so I told my first daughter to come back, and then see him again with my other kid. I'm like, listen, motherfucker, I see what the fuck you're doing. I'm gonna knock your fucking teeth out, or you're gonna leave the store. Well, actually, I had to leave the store, so either way, motherfuckers are doing it. Whether or not he was legal here or not, I don't give a shit. Whether you're white, black, yellow, green, Asian, turtles. You know what? You know Pennywise, that alien, doesn't like turtles.
Steer the pot, and it doesn't stop there. Cassie spilled some tea too, like how Diddy allegedly made her star in his personal art projects and kept those videos on lock even after she tried to delete them. And Lil Rod, he's got a whole stack of recordings claiming Diddy's got hidden cameras everywhere, even in the bathroom. Yeah, talk about invasion of privacy. We all knew that Diddy had some dirt hiding in his electronics.
So this man goes by the name of Uncle Ron, and he had stated that he was Beyonce's former bodyguard. He also made huge allegations.
I don't know. I keep heading back to 90s alternative, 90s rock.
Against Jay-Z, Beyonce, and P. Diddy. Take a look at what he had to say.
She's been on him for a long time, and you keep her that way.
Oh yeah, absolutely, 100%.
To stay on top. But there's one thing about me, bro. I can't be bought. This is Uncle Ron. Just like I know how you... That
let him finish.
Biggie had plans of leaving Bad Boy. Biggie should have never been in California to promote an album. With a broken fibula bone, who can barely walk. To go to another studio when Diddy has his own studio in New York. Diddy is pure evil. He has a very nasty disposition. He treats everybody like crap.
Well, he really blew up when he died.
Every single employee he's ever had. He and his mother have looked down on them, belittled them, talked to them like they were the lowest scum on the earth. So he could always have his way. Amar, Muhammad, and Suge Knight are Amir.
He continues to go on saying that Jay-Z and P. Diddy set Biggie Smalls up simply because Biggie was going to leave his contract and that Jay-Z wanted to be the best rapper out. And he also stated the reason he didn't say anything when it happened is because he had kids and his kids were younger.
I don't know if they're going to show this here, but do you remember when a different Sean Carter was next to Diddy doing an interview, and that Sean Carter was like, yo, this nigga's weird.
Priority. He also stated that he gave all the receipts and documentation showing that they had something to do with his death to the FBI because he's involved in the case as well. Personally, I believe him because as a bodyguard, you are by the person 24/7. Their business is simply your business. Everything they know, you know as well. Not to mention he went too far in detail about how P. Diddy asked multiple bodyguards to put a hit on Biggie, the date and the time, and how they all turned it down.
But like, it also if you have a kid that is gifted in the arts, they can sing, they can write music, they can play music, they can play a sport. Do you really want to get? Do you want to introduce your kid's talent to the world, but at the same time, you have motherfuckers like this that will exploit it. And these guys are all the way at the top. They work for that white man, that giant white man with curly hair in the sky. I forgot where I was going with that. I think I got to the point.
Makes a lot of sense on why a lot of stuff was going on the way it did. I'm running out of time, so part 2 coming soon.
When you hear 16 carriages, she is directly stating that her entire life, she recorded this album years ago, but her entire life, Summers, her whole life has been taken away from her. Mm-hmm. She wants freedom. The name of the album is Cowboy Carter, and he's traveling, when I tell
what
you,
a narcissist.
everywhere with her. She stopped posting pictures of her anniversary years ago.
She's the next slave princess. She's like Britney. She's trapped, probably can't get out, and she knows it, and she knows that if she tries to get out, they'll do to her what they did to Britney Spears. Any musician with that level of fame and power, they will not let
Jay-Z
you go.
is not working. He ain't really got no artists under Roc Nation. What does he own? Like, think about it. Like, when you look at Jay-Z's, the Ace of Spades champagne. What else does Jay-Z own? He don't own no ball team.
Right.
Like, they were trying to say that he owned a ball team. No. Like, that stuff,
ball
that's
team,
all.
Brooklyn
He's
Nets?
like, you know how you buy shares into something? You buy shares into it. But I'm talking about true.
Are they really?
Like, money. Like, he is on Beyonce's
Fucking
ass.
YouTube,
Like,
man.
everywhere that she goes.
You asked, what does Jay-Z own? Well, it sounds like people.
Ooh.
That part.
You know?
It's true, though. But I'm just like, what does... Beyonce is clearly her own artist.
Yeah.
Why doesn't she have a direct deal with Live Nation?
He's not going to let her go. There's no way. He could absolutely hate her, and he still would not let her go. Like I said earlier in the show, these people, all they care about is money and fame. Specifically the handlers. There are a lot of people in Hollywood that are just pure victims. And they're slaves.
Yeah, those... Yeah, independent artists definitely. Their record deals are way better, and they have to deal with less bullshit from these cocksuckers. But it's hard. It's hard out there for a pimp. You got to get them marketed, and it's hard. Because eventually you're going to have to know somebody to know somebody to know somebody. Unless you just happen to be... I don't know. I don't know how they find these kids anymore. And it's almost like, as a parent, fuck, man. Should I, like I said, do you introduce it to the world yet? Or wait till they're at least 18? But at that point, your kid's already going to move on to some kind of career that they wanted to do because high school's over. And they're going to end up going to Hollywood thinking they can make it as an actor or actress and end up working in, pornography. And then deciding that's not for them and they go home. I don't know. But I'm not telling y'all how to think. We're just telling you to think. That's our world for today. Well, at least my world today that wanted to explain to y'all. And, yeah, not telling y'all how to think. Just telling you to think. And I will see you next time. Ha ha.